Hey friends, so I decided to talk about the movie that I made with the help of my friends a little while ago, partially because I thought that it would be mildly amusing and some of you might enjoy learning a little bit more about what went into making it. Alright, let's get started. So yeah, the whole idea behind doing this more or less just came from the fact that I was working on a Fallout costume and I figured it would be good to actually do something with it once it was finished. Incidentally, the music for this I actually got from a really good old HBO show called Carnival. It was set in the 1920s, so not quite the right period, but the songs always stuck with me, so I figured it vaguely worked. So, I actually had my friend Jay record all of this dialogue about a month before we actually made the movie. I give him full credit for trusting me that this was actually going to look good when it finally came down to it. All of the footage of me walking around here was basically just setting up a tripod and me walking back and forth in front of some old abandoned buildings and hoping that I could get some decent shots out of it. I think I spent about 4 hours, especially trudging out of this old barn because it was in the middle of nowhere and there wasn't good access from the road, but I hope that it managed to look good in the film. So the house we ended up using was on the same road as the one from the barn that I used in the opening, and it was really convenient to the road, so it was a great location for filming. So it wasn't until basically the day of shooting that my cameraman Fox told me that he could shoot the film in a way that do the composite work like this, which I'm eternally grateful for because I had kind of in my mind tried to figure out how to shoot the film in a way to hide the fact that there is only one costume. So rather than having to do something crazy like having an arm with the armor on in the foreground and me in the background hiding the fact that I've only got one arm in the armor, Fox was able to do some really nice shooting to do composite work, which really helps sell the illusion that it's two different characters. The Raider version of the armor is basically just some bings and bobs that I could easily take off, and that way it created the illusion of being two costumes, I hope. But then when I had to do all of the non-Raider armor stuff, I took it off, and I managed to completely forget to do the red thing on the shoulder there. That's the only reason both of them have that little strip of fabric. Hopefully no one noticed in the finished project, but you get to know about that because you're listening to the commentary. I can't express enough how grateful I am to Fox for helping this all come together. I have no background in filmmaking whatsoever, so I was truly indebted to him for his technical expertise and allowing me to borrow some of his equipment. Since I didn't have any of the right stuff to help with the lighting here, since we couldn't truck in any lighting, but he fortunately had the right stuff to help bring up some of the lighting so I didn't just disappear in the shadows right here. And the composite work, he did all of himself, and it looks so much better than I could have imagined. And it is really a hard challenge to visualize in your head how it's all going to come together with some of the post effects like this and all of the stuff with the flamethrower. I just had to trust that it was going to look good and rely on his skills, and thankfully it came together well. Thanks again, Fox. It's also weird trying to figure out how to shoot a fight scene with yourself, but fortunately it came together well in the end. Oh, you can see right there the foam wiggles a little bit, but hopefully no one actually noticed when the film was going on. So when I was working on the original idea, I kept trying to figure out how I was going to have the good guy, well, air quotes, good guy, get the drop on his raider comrade. And eventually I remembered, oh right, you can take the power armor off and it just sort of stands there. So I tried to set that up here well enough that it would make sense for the climax of the film. Now, if you pay really close attention to the background, I tried to edit it as much as possible, but you can just see some flowers coming up there. The plan was to shoot everything in early March, but it wasn't until basically middle April that we were finally able to get stuff pulled together enough to shoot. And we didn't get any unexpected snow, which was a big help. Shooting inside of that house was kind of terrifying. I don't know how long it had been abandoned, but the floor was covered in leaves, and there was also lots of places where I wasn't sure if you were going to fall through or not. Right here, I'm annoyed that I didn't tell Jay to wear a long-sleeve shirt, so you can see that he's just in a black sleeve t-shirt, and it hurt. And all of this was largely edited together by Fox at the very end, and I think it does a good job of conveying the melancholy mood I was shooting for. So the general shooting order was I did the Raider armor, then I did the regular Brotherhood of Steel armor, and then we did this right at the very end. So all of our energy was pretty low. The main reason I basically did as much in the armor as possible was because I know if I didn't, my friends would probably never work with me again, because it's really hot in there. EVA foam does not let you breathe at all. I do also want to thank my friend Rhiannon. This was some of the first work she'd ever done doing voice acting, and it generally played out very well. So I had always planned to end the movie with the lighter at the end, but I couldn't quite figure out how to set it up. I was going to do a cigarette once I figured that out, but realized a pipe probably would make a lot more sense, and fortunately I had this laying around the house. I totally forgot to have Jay wear a glove for this scene, but by the time we went to go do reshoots, there was so much greenery and stuff, I just couldn't get the shot right again, so decided to live and let live. And yes, the credits here are all very credity. Lots of credits. Trying to cover awkward silence as we get to the bloopers, because I'm hoping the bloopers will be still just as funny with my commentary over them. Yeah, so this was pretty funny when it happened. I made the barrel detachable so it'd be easier to transport, but then you get stuff like this. So a really common question I get asked is, how much can you actually see in there? I would like you to participate in an experiment. Hold a hand up to your eyebrow. Now hold another hand up to just below the middle of your nose. That is literally all I can see! So tripping over rocks, pretty common. And yeah, the only reason Jay forgot his lines is because I forgot to mail him the script, actually. That flamethrower was a lot of work, hard to transport. And yeah, this was, you could see right here, oh god, I really wish I had asked him to wear a long sleeve shirt. But hey, the magic's of film that you learn after the fact. Thanks once again to my amazing cast, and thank you all for listening to me ramble. I just thought this would be generally kind of fun. Alright, hopefully I'll see you again next time. Stay out of trouble, friends.